We previously mentioned that Shodan allows us to search for exploits and vulnerabilities with IoT devices. Sometimes, however, we don't even have to go that far to uncover some of potentially sensitive or private information. Before I move on here, I want to emphasize, please respect other people's digital content and their digital property. Acquiring files without permission can be, and often is, illegal, and you could be in theory investigated or prosecuted for unauthorized access to data, depending of course on the jurisdiction. So please ensure that whatever you do is in compliance with your local law and that you're not engaging in anything that could be interpreted as essentially a cybercrime or any kind of violation of the law. So please use this knowledge and experience again for research purposes only, and please act ethically. Okay, let's move on. In the previous video, I mentioned we can combine the search filters and really refine the search criteria based on those. So depending on what you are searching for, identifying open ports and understanding what protocol is assigned to each port is crucial when it comes to getting the great search results. So I suggest bookmarking a page that lists all the different service names and their corresponding port numbers, as it's always good to have something like this for reference. I'm going to include the link in the notes, but here it is, and it lists all the different ports, and there's pages and pages of stuff here. Okay, so let's imagine that we're searching for devices or services operating on port 21, located in Russia, with a banner value of login successful. This means that no login credentials required, that the login essentially happens automatically into this service. Port 21 is used by FTP, which is File Transfer Protocol, and this service allows users to exchange files. So this is the search that we entered. These are the parameters, and just to shorten and simplify the process of searching through the results, I'm going to go straight to an example that illustrates this point. So here we found a service, and I have it open here. We have the IP address, we have the name of the host. This is the city where it's located in Russia, and here we have a number of vulnerabilities that are listed, potentially affecting the technology that is operating the service. So we see that these are the ports that are open, and these are the types of services that are open. Here we have something interesting. So essentially this is an Apache server, and it's tied to this website here. So we see that a connection on port 80 is possible, and in fact we can go have a look. So let's see, the protocol is HTTP, so it's not secure. Let's go and have a look. Okay, so this appears to be a website belonging to a Russian heating supplier or energy company. Depending on how well you can read the Cyrillic alphabet, you can probably distinguish some details here just by looking at it. We have connected this website not from the URL, but we've connected from the IP address that Shodan identified for us. So we see that there's some couple of links in here, and there's some kind of official documentation and a bunch of different files here available for download. So this looks like 4 quarterly reports of some kind, and yeah, So the thing is here, what I just mentioned before, that you know, we're not going to exploit anything here. We're not going to download any of this content. Plus, you know, you don't know what this exactly is and who uploaded it there. This website itself looks like it was maybe neglected or forgotten about, and it's a bit dated, and you have to think about that there was maybe a possibility of a compromise. What if somebody hacked into it and uploaded malware to it? So, you know, downloading any content like this is potentially risky, so let's not poke the bear. And the whole point of this was to illustrate that you don't always have to rely on exploits. Sometimes you can just find content with Shodan, whether it's IoT, whether it's FTP services, whether it's any other stuff like that, which is just not configured properly. It's not secured properly, and it can be located and accessed, downloaded due to negligence of third parties. So that's it on this subject, and let's move on.